This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
And that's what the hell we will do. We'll attack and dominate here on a Tuesday.
Amen, brother.
I'm Tito. That right there. Hey, Timmy!
I'm back again, bro.
Yes, you're back again. Bodie back there running things for us in this. I say back there. It's like we're 3 feet away from each other. It's not even that far away. Bodie, how are you today, man?
I'm doing great, guys. Right before the show, we were talking about how much we all still care to varying levels about our favorite sports teams and when they win and lose. I think we came to the consensus that I still care the most.
Yes.
You're
the youngest.
Probably for the worst, but that's all right. Doing pretty good, Tito.
Tim, we talked about it, like Bodie said, briefly. I used to let Ohio State's football result, it would determine my day.
It would gnaw at you?
Yeah, determine my mood, my feeling for the day. I stopped doing it. I don't know if it's an age thing or media. You know, the fact that I'm in the media kind of thing now, I say kind of, I'm in the media. Yeah. And so I stopped letting it dictate how upset I get. I'll watch the game with friends every time. We've got tickets to go to games sometimes, but also then when we're home with friends watching the games, and I can see my wife has punched a wall after when Ohio State lost to Oral Roberts in basketball. She literally punched the wall.
I'm glad you clarified that. By the way.
Yes. I don't do that. I've stopped doing things like that.
Wow.
Is it age or is it media? What do you think it is? Like, why is it that? Because you don't
maturity.
Is it maturity?
Yeah, I think you.
No one's ever.
I think the older you get, the more you realize. I grew up an Alabama fan. My dad took me and my older brother. I had 3 brothers. I was second oldest. Took me and my older brother Ben to Alabama football games from 1961 to 1964. Basically, when Bear Bryant really rose there, 61 was his first national championship at Alabama. And I saw Joe Willie Namath play on 2 Good Knees. I said that before HBO did. But my point was, back then, man, Alabama got beat like once a year, maybe twice. And I remember crying about it.
Right.
Because I was telling you, the last time I remember crying about Alabama getting beat was when I was 12 years old. I think it was Tennessee that beat them and broke a long winning streak. They're coming off, I think Alabama was coming off an unbeaten season in 1866. We had moved to Texas by then. Bottom line was, I haven't cried about Alabama getting beat since then, and I've gone farther than that. Like you said, being in the media,
right?
Win or lose, you got to do your job, you know.
Uh-huh.
To me, it's not the end of the world when an Ohio State or an Alabama get beat, unless there's super embarrassing about the way it's done or incompetence. But, most of the time they do their best. And like I said, I had a job when you're covering a team, you have a job to do after a game's over, no matter what their outcome is. And it doesn't get any easier one way or the other. But I quit crying about the results. I love going to sporting events,
right?
Covering them. I don't necessarily like going sitting in the stands. The last time I sat in the stands, Bodie, was at Notre Dame, Virginia Tech in 2019. A buddy of mine.
Oh, nice.
I got us
book
because that was when I was going to fully retire.
He'll tell you the score. What was the score of the game?
We won by 1 point.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it was 21-20.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a cold day. It was snowing 1 minute.
So sick, folks.
It was snowing 1 minute and sun shining the next. I left to go at the beginning of the second quarter. I left to go to the restroom and get something to drink at the concession stand. Got back to my seat in the stands on the northeast side of the stadium with 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. I go, why do people do this?
Yeah, right.
And I haven't sat in the stand since then, at least for a college football game. And but anyway, bottom line is, I just go. I enjoy watching football.
Right, the actual watching of the game.
I love trying to figure out what the defense is trying to do to the offense and vice versa, where they're attacking, things like that. As I always tell people, you got to watch a football game from the inside out, which means from the offensive defensive line collisions outward. And so that's the kick I get out of watching football, is trying to analyze what the hell's going on in front of me. So who's being smart, who isn't. But yeah, back to what you said, I haven't cried since then.
So, Bodie,
12 years
interesting to me. I
old.
don't know if this is for you too, Bodie, but for me, when I think of Ohio State football, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Tim. I'm just telling you this right now. Okay. When I think Ohio State football, as far as the media goes, I think Tim May.
Really?
I think Paul Keels.
Yeah.
Tim May, Alabama fan growing up, right? Mm-hmm. And Keels used to call USFL games for Michigan, like up north. And that was what.
I did not know that.
Panthers.
Yes, the Michigan Panthers. That's right. So, like, the two guys I associate most with Ohio State football are not like born and bred Buckeyes.
Yeah,
which is interesting
but I
to
mean,
me.
That's the two of them have a solid 60
absolutely.
to 70 years.
Oh,
so
yes.
it's kind of
yes. He is the authority, and Keels is the voice. And it's like, but those guys, and I'm not saying they don't bleed scarlet and gray. They do, but I was born scarlet and gray, and those guys weren't. And they are such the authority on Ohio State football.
Sometimes I think there's an appreciation for that.
Yes, I do too.
To where it's like, I don't need you to be the super homer fan. That's me.
Yeah,
and I don't
too.
like a glass half empty guy either. Like I like when reporters are more glass half full. Let's be realistic. Ohio State's a very good football program. We can acknowledge that. Yeah. While also saying, like, yes, I'm not a fan. I'll give you to it straight and call it how I see it.
Right.
Which most of the time is a pretty
play it down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what John F. Wolf used to. I used to.
Oh yeah,
Dom and Paul Spahn and I used to go to lunch with him every now and then. And huge Ohio State fan, obviously. Look at the name of the athletic directorship there, at Ohio State now. But that's all he ever told us was he just wanted us to play it down the middle. The problem with playing it down the middle is the people who don't like Ohio State think you're leaning Ohio State's way.
Right.
The people who love Ohio State think you're leaning the other way. And you got to let, like you and I've talked about it before off the air. I mean, some of the scandals, for one of another term, recruiting or Tatgate or whatever, which pales now. That's why I kept telling everybody, way back then, this was not a big deal compared to what things could have been.
Sure.
But, you just – You got to let the dust settle in some form or fashion, man, because it's never as bad or as good as you think it is. But like what you just brought up, I mean, the head coach at Ohio State was born in Manchester, New Hampshire, and grew up there, right? Yeah. Woody Hayes, I think he got a graduate degree from Ohio State, but he was from East Ohio, didn't go to Ohio State as an undergrad, but. The most synonymous name with Ohio State football still to this day. Whereas, Bear Bryant did go to Alabama, but he was from Arkansas.
Right. We are Morning Juice, sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin and Event Risk Elite Protection. And we've got, I'll be completely transparent here, people. Pull back the curtain a little bit. I will say,
don't pull it back all the way.
No, not all the way. But listen, we'll have Schlegs? ? Maybe it's 7:00. We'll see. We've got them on the schedule. We'll see what happens there. But right now, though, it is time for Bodie to make us smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, guys. Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025, the 202nd day of the year, just 162 days left in this 2025. It's all downhill from here. Wow. Well, not in a negative way.
No!
Just going quick, moving forward.
Did you see that fingernail of a moon that was hanging up in the sky as we drove in today?
I did see that, yep.
We'll start with some events here, guys. How about this one? 1796, Cleveland, Ohio was founded by General Moses Cleveland. It was originally called Cleveland with an A between the E and the V. The public adopted the current name after a newspaper editor noticed that the name was too long to fit on the page. So, nevertheless,
yes.
1893, Catherine Lee Bates. She writes America the Beautiful in Colorado. That's a pretty good one, in my opinion.
That's a banger.
1923, Washington Senators. Future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Walter Johnson becomes the first to reach 3,000 career strikeouts.
Night Train.
He strikes out 5 in a 3-1 win over the Cleveland, the time, Indians.
Big Train.
Night Train was
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He was a
no one else knows.
player, right?
No one else would have corrected you but me or Shark.
I know, that was good.
Yes.
1933 Wiley Post. He completes the first solo flight around the world, taking 7 days and 19 hours.
One of my heroes growing up.
Nice. 1939, Jane Boland becomes the first African-American female judge in New York. 1963, in their second clash, Sonny Liston once again knocks out Floyd Patterson in round one at the Convention Center in Vegas to retain the world heavyweight boxing title.
He was a hell of a boxer.
I thought you might have something there.
No, I got nothing else.
Sonny Liston could knock
thing.
you out. That's why it was so controversial, the fight with Muhammad Ali. Was Cassius Clay then.
Yep.
And, the Phantom Punch.
1967, the Atlanta Braves establish an MLB record for number of pitchers called upon in one inning. They used 5 in the ninth inning of a 5-4 defeat to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Still didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a guy at Texas Hold'em, right? Don't take another car.
1983, Australian pilot Dick Smith. He makes the first solo helicopter flight around the world. It took him nearly 260 hours, which is almost 11 days.
A helicopter around the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to fly.
Thank you.
I used to fly from Red Roof Inn headquarters several times to up to Mid-Ohio because Jim Truman owned Mid-Ohio.
You flew a copter?
No, I flew with the guy.
Okay, gotcha.
He was a Vietnam vet who flew the helicopter for Jim Truman. And I remember the first time we got on it. I'd flown on helicopters before, matter of fact, quite a few times. But the guy goes, "You know what a definition of a helicopter is, don't you?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "It's 1 million parts all trying to fly apart at the same time." And I go, "That's really really makes you feel good." Yeah. So
you ever ridden a helicopter, Bodie? I never have. You?
I don't think so.
I don't think I have. No, I never have. No, I never have.
I was a part of the 1st Air Cavalry we were the high school students who went and did part of a ROTC exercise north of Lufkin up near Nacogdoches one time, and we did these assaults. This was back in the height of the Vietnam War.
Sure.
We did these assaults in these UH-1s, these Hueys.
Yeah.
And you'd be sitting. We sat actually in the door with just a seat belt, and we would bank over to go to a landing zone in LZ, and we'd just be hanging there. It was pretty cool.
No, thank you.
Sounds cool. We jump out. We had these M14s, not M16s,
right.
but M14s, and we'd just be shooting blanks.
I can't. I don't look. It always amazes me too that I've got more security in my car than I do on an airplane as far as the seatbelt.
Oh yeah,
it's not a shoulder thing.
Oh yeah,
and the airplane is just like the lap belt.
Yeah,
but on my car, I've got to go all the way. I got to quote Mechadon, I got to buckle up.
Yeah, look at the one guy that survived that Air India crash. His seatbelt broke, and he just got thrown. He got thrown clear. Yeah. Hey, but I also went to Camp Grayling one time. Did a story for the Dispatch back in the late 70s. On National Guard maneuvers,
right?
With General Bob Teeter. He was the head of the thing, and we flew Nap of the Earth stuff, which in his helicopter, which is just above the treetops, all over the place. That right up there with flying the pipeline with my flight instructor back in Lufkin one time. It's 2 of the most fun things I've ever done in a motorized aerial vehicle.
1991, Jeffrey Dahmer confesses to killing 17 men beginning back in 1978. Dahmer, not a great dude.
No.
1992, just a year
from
later.
Ohio? I think.
I think he is.
I think you're right on that, yeah. 1992, Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, he escapes prison.
Also from Zanesville. Just kidding. Go ahead.
1994, we're on a string here of just not good human beings. 1994, former NFL running back, broadcaster, and actor O.J. Simpson pleads, quote, absolutely 100% not guilty, end quote, of murder. I don't know. I guess technically he got away with it.
You know where I stayed for the U.S. Open 2 years ago
where?
in L.A.? I stayed at the Wilshire Motel, which was right near the intersection of Wilshire Boulevard and Bundy.
Okay.
And I walked up a couple of it was like 3 or 4 blocks from where I was staying. I walked a couple, because the number in the house had been changed, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But it's still bizarre. The alley is still there. It's still bizarre what went on that night with O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown Simpson.
I'm telling you, but it did.
It's unfortunate.
Allegedly.
It's a tragedy. Okay, let's say it's a tragedy. Nonetheless, it provided great content for Norm Macdonald, and it still makes me laugh. All the stuff Norm Macdonald said.
In 2019, the Marvel superhero film Avengers Endgame becomes the world's highest-grossing film, overtaking Avatar. They earned $2.9 billion and probably still counting today.
5 years ago, we lost. All of us. We lost friends. We lost family. We lost a part of ourselves. Today we have a chance to take it all back. You know your teams, you know your missions. Get the stones, get them back. 1 round trip each. No mistakes, no do-overs. Most of us are going somewhere we know. That doesn't mean we should know what to expect. Be careful. Look out for each other. This is the fight of our lives. And we're gonna win. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, Tito.
I can't do it, Bodie. I get confused. My wife, huge. Like all the Marvel movies, multiple times over, I'm sure.
Same.
But there was one a bunch of them turned to dust. Then they came back after that. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, that's where you lose me on that. If you're going to go dust, then you can't come back from the dust.
Yeah. The time travel in Endgame kind of, I wouldn't say they crashed the plane, but
right.
I don't know if they 100% landed it either.
It's
that's tough. Once you throw time travel into things, you kind of can't go back.
I don't think you'd be a casual observer. I think you all.
Oh, that's 100% true.
But like if you just if I just like landed on that one where they go to dust, and then it's like there's 8 movies since then, and I'm like, why
you would
not?
be pretty lost.
Here's what I think. I'm going to do the rest of the show. Just like that soliloquy.
That was pretty good, wasn't it, Chris Evans?
I'm not
was
going
a
to
very
have
good
to say
Captain America.
a lot of words. I'm just going to extend 10 seconds of words
Take pauses
into 1 minute.
Builds drama. We'll get some music in the background for you,
there
too,
you go.
Tim. In 2023, last of our events here, Taylor Swift. A concert in Seattle. Her concert in Seattle shakes the ground so hard it registers as equivalent to a magnitude 2.3 earthquake, and she does the exact same thing the following night.
Wow.
I say I'm too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. Mm-hmm. That's what people say.
Mm-hmm.
She has made herself quite a good chunk of change there through her
Not
music
only,
career.
not only
play,
does Tito know the words.
Oh, yeah.
He knows
That's
the
a great
wiggles.
song. Yeah.
Tito knows the
that's
wiggles.
a banger.
It's a banger. Yes, it is. And I know it because my daughter plays it all the time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. On to some birthdays here. Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy. She was born on this day, 1890. Passed away in 95. The mother of JFK, RFK, and Teddy. Bob Dole. He was born on this date in 1923. The former politician. He lost the presidential candidacy in 1996
Speaking
to
of Norm Macdonald.
Bill Clinton, I believe, if I'm right on that. Sonny Liston, he was born on this date in 1930, passed in 1970, the former heavyweight champion of the world boxer. This was a sad one here. Born on this date in 1940, passed away a handful of years ago. Alex Trebek, of course, the longtime host of Jeopardy.
Football 200.
Your choice. Do or don't name this play in which the quarterback runs the ball and can choose to pitch it to another back. It's an option play. Ryan?
Football 400.
I can tell you guys are big football fans.
Yeah.
Tom Landry perfected the shotgun formation with this team.
Here we go.
Dallas Cowboys. Do you think we should go to commercial? Brian?
Take it on to 600.
Okay, by signaling for one of these, a returner can reel in a kick without fear of getting tackled. Fair catch. Let's look at the $1,000 clue just for the fun of it. Jimmy?
As Minneapolis' U.S. Bank Stadium prepares to host Super Bowl 52, I'm looking at the Ring of Honor with names from this defensive line that took the Vikings to 4 Super Bowls.
Losses.
If you guys ring in and get this one, I will die. Who are the purple people eaters? We're going to take a break. I have to talk
I
to
would
that.
sweat that category.
Look,
The fact that they couldn't just throw out a team on
Right.
the Landry one, who cares if you're wrong?
Right.
I mean, you got 32 guesses. You can't name an NFL team.
so
That's
Even back then, you had 12 or 14
This may
guesses.
be shocking to both of you. I was not very smart on a lot of subjects in high school, but I was on the In the Know
Stunned.
team.
You were on the what?
In the Know team.
Wow.
At Brookhaven. And
Really?
The reason was
sports.
They at the end of each round of In the Know, we did this, played other schools. There'd be like 3 sports questions at the very end. I would sit there and I never once took out a pencil to figure out the math question. I never once gave an answer on chemistry. But to get to the end,
Why?
I was the only person on either team that knew sports.
Listen, Tito.
Wow.
Even the kicker and punter's got a job.
It's exactly
and when
right.
they don't get that ball through the uprights,
Yep.
that's a problem.
Did you deliver?
Yeah. Oh,
What was the toughest question you got on In the Know when it came to sports? I would think you would remember to this day.
I can't remember the tell you what, they were very basic. They were very elementary. It'd be things like you just heard on Jeopardy. It's like that kind of
Wow.
question, Tim.
Wow.
And they would not know it. None of the science guy, the math girl, the current events, the history. None of them would know any of this stuff. But I could go out there and say, how many players are on the field during one play in a football game for each team? I'd say it's 11. It's what nobody else would even come close to it and even give a guess.
It had to really bother you though that when it came to chemistry and math and stuff, they might have been asking the same sort of basic questions
For them, yes. Yeah, right. For them.
And you had no idea.
Dude, I sat back. I never buzzed in or tried in this. I just had hands by my head, we'll get to the end of the round.
Get ready for the final round.
Right, yes.
Born on this date in 1946, turning 79 years old today, the actor Danny Glover.
Fowle also said you're heavy into martial arts, Tai Chi and all that killer stuff.
I suppose we have to register you as a lethal weapon.
Hey, look, friend, let's just cut the shit. Now, we both know why I was transferred. Everybody thinks I'm suicidal, in which case I'm f***ed and nobody wants to work with me. Or they think I'm faking to draw a psycho pension, in which case I'm f***ed and nobody wants to work with me. Basically, I'm f***ed.
Guess what?
What?
I don't want to work with you.
Hey, don't.
Ain't got no choice. Looks like we both the f***.
Terrific.
God hates me, that's what it is.
Hate him back. It works for me.
I'll remember. I just remember Lethal Weapon 2 when Joe Pesci described what happens to you when you go through the drive-thru.
Yes, yes.
Born on this date, 1947, turning 78 years old today, the American rock drummer, singer, and songwriter, part of the Eagles, Don Henley.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air.
That one is pretty
Hey, they
good.
opened with that at the Sphere. Went to see them.
You saw him at the Sphere?
Yeah, me and my buddy Jeff Snook.
Pretty good?
It was real good. And I'll never forget, though, they opened with that, with Hotel California. And about halfway through the concert, Jeff turns to me, he goes, when do you think they're going to play Hotel California? I said, dude, they opened with it. But it was a great production. I don't know. It was supposed to have been their last concert. We got tickets for the last weekend in January, because I was out in Vegas 2 times in January, and because of that in the Rose Bowl, and that was supposed to be their last weekend, and they might still be doing their final weekends. I mean, they just keep
Tim,
selling millions of dollars of tickets.
I told Tim, listen, me and my buddies, we paid for the Who's final concert on pay-per-view in 1982.
There you go.
They're still touring. It was the final show.
Why not?
And that was what we paid for, and they owe me money because they lied.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell Freezes Over tour came here in
94.
1994, and out at Polaris. I went, Polaris, when Polaris was an amphitheater, not a mall.
I had tickets to that concert.
Oh, me, I went to it.
Well, I'm sorry. It was, I've got a first administration, which is the first wife, and I'm currently on the second administration.
Gotcha.
But the first candidate, who we never got married, but she was a candidate though, we had tickets to that concert that we bought, and then we broke up before the concert, and she took her next husband, her future husband, to the
gotta
concert.
Be kidding me.
I did not get them in the breakup. I broke up with her, and she kept the tickets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Continuing on here, turning 70 years old today, the actor Willem Dafoe. He's been in a bunch of stuff. In my opinion, a very good Green Goblin in the Spider-Man movies.
Yes, he was.
Turning 61 years old today, David Spade, the comedian actor. Had to go with some Tommy Boy here.
Okay, folks, the guy in front of you is Tommy. He'll be taking you through my little spiel here. Tommy is a Scorpio, he likes biking, and he's never been laid. Exits. Okay, there's one back here, and there's probably one over by the wing somewhere, usually. And what about seat belts? Two fasten. Take the little end and stick it in the big end, and you know what? If you guys don't know how to use a seat belt, just ring your call button, and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer because you're already Okay, and life preservers. These we may need. Although, what are the odds of us actually hitting a lake? My money says, if anything, it's gonna be a mountain. To inflate, put it around your neck and yank down on the tab. He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
It's great.
That flight from Cleveland to Chicago.
Right, yes.
Turning 60 years old today, the pro wrestler, former pro wrestler, I think. I don't know, maybe still doing it. Shawn Michaels. This one, Tito. I knew you'd love this one. Tim, I knew you'd love it too, and it certainly warmed my heart. The 6th overall selection in the 1988 NFL Draft, the 9-time Pro Bowler, a member of the all-1990s NFL team, a Hall of Famer, and the 1987 Heisman Trophy winner for your Fighting Irish. Tim Brown, turning 59 years old today.
Out at the 30-yard line, cuts to the right, looking for a block. Tries to cut to the outside, cuts inside, 35, he gets the 40, he gets the 45, 50, down the sideline at the 40, he gets the 30, one man to beat, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Irish! Timmy Brown, 70 yards! Right twice, high spiral, drifting back round. Round to the 34, to the 35, cuts up field, gets to the 40, 35, he hits the 50, down to the 40, 35, 30, one man to beat, down to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown again, Timmy Brown!
2-punt returns in that win over Michigan State and in his Heisman Trophy winning season.
Does it bother you that 1988 is the last time Notre Dame won a national championship?
Yes, it does, Tim. Yep, I would say it bothers me a lot.
When you think about it.
It's something I think about a lot. It's something that breaks my heart.
This is the first day of the Big Ten meetings out in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Remind me to give you an anecdote in regards to Lou Holtz. From the first Big Ten media meetings I ever went to in 1984. It's pretty funny.
All right, 1970, born on this date in 1972, turning 53 today, Keyshawn Johnson, the former Southern California Trojan and the number 1 overall pick in the draft. 1973, turning 52 years old today, the former baseball first baseman, catcher, DH, multi-time All-Star Mike Sweeney. Selena Gomez turns 33 years old today. I put 3 years old. I think she's older than that.
I think she is.
Born on this date in 1995. Figured we'd have plenty of listeners enjoying this one. Ezekiel Elliott turns 30 years old today.
Jones resets in the shotgun, gets the snap, hands it to Elliott, who goes sweeping to the left side, gets to the 20, loose to the 30, to the 40, down the left side to the 50 goes Elliott. He's going to take it to the house. 30, 20, 10, touchdown Ezekiel Elliott. 85 yards. Snap to Jones out of the shotgun. Hands it Elliott straight ahead, and he's found a hole. Elliott on the move to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5. Touchdown Ezekiel Elliott of Ohio State. 33 yards to the house for Ezekiel Elliott. His 15th rushing touchdown of the year, and Ohio State a point after from tying this game. They trail 7-6.
He would have won the Heisman Trophy if the Heisman Trophy was voted on after all the games are done.
Yep.
In 2014, and that run, whenever that run against Alabama comes up, which was the first one there, I just immediately think of Evan Spencer scraping off, coming out off the left side and scraping off and taking out 2 Alabama linebackers, which is why it went to the house. Just an unbelievable, unbelievable run. And I remember asking Zeke after the game, and you could see him. He was looking up. He was looking up at the big screen to see if anybody was catching him, and nobody was.
They weren't.
That's what's cool about modern football stadiums. You got a little bit more perspective.
Yeah. Another Buckeye here, born on this date, turning 25 years old today, Garrett Wilson. And then Prince George, son of Prince William and Catherine, part of the royal family there. He turns 12 years old today. A couple deaths in 1922. Jokic Takmine, no idea if I said that right, but I think it was probably close. The Japanese-American biochemist, he was part of one of two men who discovered adrenaline. Estelle Getty, she passed away on this date in 2008, part of the Golden Girls there. And then Bobby Taylor passed away on this date in 2017. Not the former NFL cornerback, but the American singer and producer who discovered the Jackson 5. He passed away 2017 at the age of 83 today.
The Jackson 5.
Holidays and observances.
National discovered them.
Mango Day. Yeah, him too. National Mango Day. National Hammock Day. Casual Pie Day, because if you divide 22 by 7, it's 3.14.
Yeah.
And
Keeps going.
whatever. I don't know. I just know the first 3 digits. And then last but not least, it is World Brain Day on this July 22nd of 2025, the 202nd day of the year. Just 162 days remaining in this 2025.
Well done, as always, Lieutenant.
Yes.
Coming up next.
We need a round of applause right there that you play.
We should have that, I know, yes.
Maybe play it Zeke Elliott, but just the very end of it.
By the way, Bodie, let's get this out of the way now in the chat because someone wants to know. If you cheer for Ohio State, Bodie, do you cheer for Ohio State?
Is that the end of the question?
Yes.
If it directly helps Notre Dame, yes.
Okay, so just curious, Bodie, does he cheer for Ohio State? He's so dedicated and knowledgeable for Notre Dame. That's why I was asking that. So
I'll be honest, I wouldn't call him my second favorite team.
Right. I will, but we can agree. All three of us can. It's good for our business if Ohio State's really good.
Yes, and I'm never going to come in here on the air and
it's
one, not be real. I'll tell you how I feel about them, for better or worse.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to be an antagonist.
You're not. But it's like we know it's good for business. If Ohio, the Dispatch, I talk about it too. It was the Dispatch. It was great because we had the longer they went in the season, the more special sections we could sell. Same thing here at the Fan.
They could have dropped one more game at the end of the year.
The longer
whatever
that Ohio State does well, the more broadcasts, the more advertising dollars we can bring in. And I've never understood anybody who lives in Ohio and specifically Columbus and roots against Ohio State. You know what I mean? Because look, whatever business you're in, whatever your business is, it's better if Ohio State football is good.
Yes.
No matter what it is, it's better if Ohio State football is good.
My famous line, too, is, I've been covering Ohio State since 84 in some form or fashion, and I would have, just imagine if I had been covering Indiana football, that would have lasted like 6-7 years.
Tito might have called you a fraud.
And moved on to something else. But you're exactly right.
Reds
it is good for business.
Yes. The Reds fell to the Nationals 10-day yesterday. They play at 6:45 tonight. Guardians beat the Orioles 10-5. Sharks happy. They play at 6:40 tonight. Coming up next, Mike Brown made a big statement. We'll do that. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know what it's like to be stuck in that cycle of pain where you're trying to get better. You keep going to the doctor, steroid shots, surgeries. Do not go down that road anymore. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics. They will help treat you without going under the knife and without the meds. QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine to help your body heal itself. And I should know, I've been a client there and they helped me with my knee get back to the running in the summer and go on whitewater rafting and all of the things that you enjoy. And this is the critical part about my friends with QC. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's peace of mind. It's not just a number. They're trying to help you. They're the second opinion that you're looking for to keep you from getting under the knife. To find out if you're a good candidate, go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. The consultation is free, or call 380-2845-44. That's 380-2845-44. They have offices all over Central Ohio. So go check them out.
We are the keepers of the wild. America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wild lands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Bobby is the all-American male. Tito pulled a hammy getting his mail. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Tito, Tim May, Bodie. Usually, Bobby does something here, right here at this here time. He's not here, so I will do it. Oh, you know what the sound means. I'm not going to copy what Bobby says, Bodie. I don't know exactly what the phrase
I thought you were about
was.
to sing.
That's fair.
No,
I try to kind of get halfway there with Today in History.
Right.
But
we've got the $3 appetizer today at Roosters. And today, it's the Roosters onion feathers.
Ooh.
Battered onion petals, fried golden brown, and served with a side of plucking sauce.
Plucking sauce.
Plucking sauce, man. I got to make sure I said that the right way.
Give some of that plucking sauce.
Yes. So every Tuesday is Appetite Tuesday at Roosters. $3. You can get the onion feathers, The Roosters onion feathers. Go to roosterswings.com, see which of the delicious appetizers want $3, and that's what it is today. It's Tuesday. It's Appetizer Tuesday. Later on, by the way, Tim, you don't know this, but now you're going to know it. We will give away a $50 gift card. Should be 51 because we're supposed to get $1 from Bodie in that to make it 51, so you can have 17 of the $3 appetizers if you'd like.
Wow.
But we'll do that later on.
Maybe you get a discount if you buy 17.
Maybe so. I'm not sure. I'm just telling you, it's a great deal. So we've got the situation with Cincinnati with the Bengals, and they're not paying Trey Hendrickson what they. God, my arm is bleeding.
Yeah, people don't need to know that.
Well, you can see it on YouTube, though. I keep wiping it.
Well, that's a good point.
So I want to make sure people know that I know. Anyway. So Shemar Stewart is their first round pick. They're not paying Trey Hendrickson. He's upset. He's not. He wants a new deal. Shemar Stewart, the first round pick for Cincinnati, has not signed his deal yet, and it's all, Tim, because of some of the language in the contract as far as what the guarantees are, and essentially what I'm gathering from this, it's the Bengals want to say, look, if you screw up, then we don't want to have to pay you if you get in trouble. And he's like, no, just guarantee the whole thing. That's essentially what it is.
You're right.
Mike Brown came out and made a statement yesterday. And Mike Brown said, this is what he said. He doesn't want to pay someone who's sitting in jail. Now, Shemar Stewart's done nothing wrong. But his point was like, you know what? I want to have this language in there because if you do get in trouble and say you do get arrested, we've seen first-round picks get in trouble before.
Yep.
Ruggs for the Las Vegas, obviously infamously, I guess I should say.
There's a guy right now who I'm not even sure has signed his contract with the Cleveland Browns. He might be in a little bit of
second-round
heat.
pick, yes. Judkins also in Cleveland, yes. So, and Brown did say, he said, I don't want to pay someone who's sitting in jail. So that's what he's holding out. He says, agent wants it to be so that if he acted in terrible fashion, this is all hypothetical, something that rises to the level of going to prison, that we would be on the line for the guarantees for future years that haven't been paid. Our position is no. If that happens, we're not going to be. We're not going to be. We are not going to be paying someone who's sitting in jail. That's not what we're going to do.
Okay.
It feels like this is a very Bengals thing. And I'm not saying, what I mean by that is that everyone else is signing their contracts to get all this stuff done. All the other deals are done. If you believed, Tim,
yes,
that there was a chance that the guy you're drafting could end up in jail, then why draft him?
I don't know, because he's a football player. As Woody Hayes once said, defense isn't loaded with choir boys.
Right?
I mean, you gotta have guys that want to get after it, and offense the same way. So, it's just odd to hear that put into words, but I think I agree with Mr. Brown from the sense of, if you get in trouble, why should we pay you?
Sure.
So that's kind of what he's kind of saying. As sitting in jail is taking it to the extreme, but that has to be in a contract is very interesting to me, because it seemed like it'd be understood that if you're no good to us while you're sitting in jail, why should you be drawing a paycheck? I'm not sure that would happen here. I'm not sure what Fish would do if he found out you were in jail. You wouldn't be hosting.
Get you hooked up with the Comrex.
You wouldn't be hosting a show, from Cell 34.
But I'm just saying,
excuse me, Cell 97.1, the fan.
97.1, yes, that's what it is, yes. But that's the thing, Tim, it's like, if you think there's a chance the guy that you're drafting is if you don't have the confidence that he's not going to end up in jail, don't use a first-round pick on him. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what you're concerned about. I know other guys, and Garen brought it up in the chat, the other contracts in the first round, he believes, are also have those kind of provisions in there.
Sure.
But I wouldn't expect Ryan Day to recruit somebody and make an offer to somebody who he thinks could end up in jail.
Depends on how good he is.
I know. It depends if he's a 5-star.
Exactly.
So, but I'm saying, if he's not, I don't think anybody expects him to end up in jail. It's just to cover your rear end if, in fact, he does. Because, the Bengals at their heart are a frugal organization. Yeah, they are.
And I will say, I was listening to Mike Brown's press conference this morning as I cut it up,
Yeah.
which is always my favorite part of my day.
Of course it is.
And it was much more of just an expression.
Yeah, just
like, he was pretty clear.
it.
Like, I don't think it's going to happen. He's a great kid, hard
Right.
worker. We want
Right.
to get him and sign in the building, and I think he's going to help us a lot for our team.
Right.
And I think it was a little bit more. I mean, Mike Brown's got to be, 85, 90
He's
years
old,
old.
yes.
Like,
Yeah,
I think it was just something that, like, his age of a person would kind of go as far using that as an example.
A euphemism.
Where somebody, a little bit younger would have said,
Have you got that
just
clip?
so he gets in trouble.
Yeah.
I think it's in the
Because it was part of the
somewhere.
part of the news conference for sure.
That's the part that just is what's concerning to me, is that if you don't believe that he's a stand-up guy who's not going to have problems, if you don't believe that, don't waste a first-round pick.
Yeah, but I
on
don't
him,
think
man.
that's what he's intimating. I just, I think he's just laying all the cards out there. I think Mike Brown only has one press conference a year, right?
It sounds like it, yeah.
And this was it. So,
You got the clip there, Bode?
Yes,
All
it
right,
is a
go
little long.
Let's do it.
But let me get my dad set up here real quick, sorry. This is Mike Brown on the situation overall. I believe he mentions this in there, but this is Mike Brown talking about just the foolishness of Stewart's situation not getting settled yet.
From our vantage point, it's a form of foolishness. It just ought to get done. There is no dispute over the money. It's just a dispute in his mind that I guess if he did something that really deserved punishment, that he would want the whole contract guaranteed. And we would want to say, well, it isn't guaranteed. If you did something to that level, in that case, we would step in and take away the guarantee. Doesn't mean that we couldn't agree to pay it, but we wouldn't be forced to pay it. I don't want to pay somebody who hypothetically could be in jail for 4 years at this level of pay. And do I think any of that's going to happen? No. And that's why I use the word foolishness. It's, in my mind, at that level. We want to get it done. We want to get him in here and working. He's a good young guy, and he's someone we think will be important to our team this year.
The deal would be $18.97 million over 4 years. That's what the money, that no matter what they decide on guarantees and whatnot, that's the money he could be paid.
I think any concert has a morals clause in it in one form or fashion. So I don't understand the Shemar Stewart stand on it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. By the way, quite frankly, if you're Shemar Stewart, maybe you decided when the Bengals drafted you, you weren't going to play. You didn't want to play in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Which is possible.
Who knows? But it's like I think it's a very interesting situation for both of them.
Yep.
But maybe now you got a little more insight into why the Bengals have a hard time signing their draft picks sometimes.
Yes, and I did hear this from Bob. I know and this is something I've learned from Bob since I've worked with him. But whenever you sign a contract with somebody in the NFL, whatever the guaranteed number is,
right.
So in this case it'd be $18.97 million. Whatever that guaranteed number is, the team has to put that in escrow.
Exactly.
Right away, like that day, they got to put the money in an escrow. And so when you see guys, if they signed a contract where, like in the T.J. Watt situation, where $100 million guaranteed, the Pittsburgh organization had to put $100 million in escrow right now because that's the guaranteed money he's going to get over the course of the contract.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see.
Few leagues can do that, but the NFL can definitely do it.
And remember, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen here, but Bo Jackson was drafted by Tampa Bay, and then because he never signed, went and played baseball. The next year, he was in the draft again, and the Raiders used a 6th-round pick on him. Stewart could also, if he chose to, not sign, sit out the entire season, and be back in the draft next year. So we'll keep an eye on that. Coming up next, quick hitters, Morning Juice.
When it comes to protecting your assets, you need a security partner. Event Risk Security Services is a U.S.-based veteran-owned company providing protection services, consulting to Fortune 500 companies, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor quality services and an endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give them a try. They're virtually the same cost, and they can address what keeps you up at night. Event Risk. Check them out at eventriskinc.com to learn more.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
My son Ian was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 16 months. The outlook was pretty rough. I mean, it was, we had no hope until St. Jude rescued us. I mean, they saved him. To this date, we are 12 years into this journey, and from day one, we've never once seen a bill. It gave us the peace of mind to know that we're there with our son, and we're gonna beat cancer together. Now, he is doing really, really well. He's alive because of what St. Jude has done. He's here because of the doctors who came before, their blood, their sweat, their tears, the knowledge accumulated and shared, with everyone else around the world. This is how we get rid of this, how we help kids beat cancer all over. It's the future.
Together, we will make yours possible for every child everywhere. Learn more at stjude.org.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
No, Bobby. Yes, Tito. It's Tito. It's Tim May. It's Bodie Wells. Let's do some rapid fire jabs.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Good morning, Buddy Wells. You got to turn the mic on
Yes,
there.
I do.
New
Yes,
guy.
I do. Good morning, guys. So we'll start with the NFL here. After sitting out the last 2 seasons, rehabbing a knee injury, Nyheim Hines is coming back. On Monday, he signed a deal with the LA Chargers following a tryout with the team. Hines tore his left ACL while he was with the Buffalo Bills in July of 2023. So 2 years ago when he was struck by a personal watercraft. That is a tough break there. He did sign with the Browns last year, but he did not play in any of last season because of the injury. He was still rehabbing, and he was later released by the team in February. Tito, coming back from the injury, bruise on the leg's a hell of a long way from the heart.
It really is, Bodie. And, Tim, when I see things like this, it just reinforces the fact that, and I would do the same thing. If I was an NFL personnel guy, you throw as many darts as you can. Hines may be nothing, but maybe he's got nothing left to take. I'm not sure.
Right.
But take the chance on it, though, because the way you run through running backs in this league, and you turn and burn them as quickly as you can.
Yep.
But if you can find some kind of lightning in a bottle with Nyheim Hines, it makes perfect sense. The Chargers they're fine on running backs, it seems like to me. I mean, Najee Harris, though, who's going to be out for the first part of the camp because of the fireworks accident, which Bobby, I don't understand why Bobby still shoots them off. Nonetheless, it makes
drafted
sense.
Hampton out of Carolina in the
Hampton,
first round,
Carolina,
so he'll
yep.
be their bell cow.
Yeah, he'll be the guy. But still, like this just tells you how I don't say desperate, but how much teams are willing to just take chances on somebody just to see what they've got.
Are we readdressing the clause that Mike Brown
right,
with
should
Shemar
be, right,
Stewart?
yeah. Yeah.
Some of these guys do stupid stuff, man.
Yes, they do.
And, the less you have to pay them after they've done something stupid, the better off you are. But, yeah, we all know. You've been covering this, and I've been covering it for a long time. There's a big difference between a great player and an elite player when it comes to any sport, especially football. And, yeah, when a guy shows he can be on the level to play in the National Football League, you take chance after chance after chance on him.
Yeah.
And because it might strike. That may be the time his knee stays together for the rest of his life. You never know.
I know it wasn't the exact same situation. Obviously, he wasn't out for 2 years, but, I mean, J.K. Dobbins did not have a clean bill of health when he went to L.A. last year, and he was productive for him.
Yep.
We'll switch to the NBA here. NBA. Reunited, and it feels so good. CP3, Chris Paul, he has agreed to a deal with the LA Clippers for what is expected to be his final season, the 21st of his career. Paul spent 6 years with the Clippers from 2011 to 2017. Outside of his final year in LA back in the 2016-2017 season, CP3 was an all-star, all-NBA team, and all-defensive team member every single year prior to that last year when he was in LA. And now he is set to play his 21st season of his career, joining Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Willis, and Robert Parrish as the only players to have played 21 years in the NBA. Only LeBron James and Vince Carter have played more. It's a pretty strong career there for him, Tim, and finishing out in a place where he is very familiar with.
By the way, did they open their new arena last year, or are they moving into it this year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah. That is a great place, man. I don't know if you've seen it, out there by LAX and stuff. But, I heard somebody refer to him yesterday, Chris Paul, as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
do you agree with that?
I do. I think he is. Yes.
He'll put some fannies in the seats. That's all professional sports is all about, anyway.
Yeah. God, I don't know if do you think Chris Paul do you think someone would say, I want to go to watch Chris Paul
Could be
play?
the last time you see him.
But I don't think in his whole career, though. I don't know if I've ever felt like, Chris Paul is must-see TV or must-see in person. He's been a fine player. He's had a great career, no doubt about all of that. But I'm just saying, I don't think he's ever been. He's not dynamic. I can't remember highlights of Chris Paul. Can you remember a big shot or big play Chris Paul's ever made?
Not really.
Except
he's the kind of guy, man. When I go to when I watch sporting events, I like to zero in on just one guy occasionally, especially in basketball.
Sure.
And just watch what they do with and without the ball and stuff. And I remember watching Chris Paul quite a few times. He's always looking for the edge. I mean, he's the crack in the defense, etc. And Mike Conley Jr. is the same kind of player in that respect. I mean, he just sees the whole court and is trying to look at things for maybe later you can take advantage of. And if you watch him, you can you can see that just like in hockey. It's fun to watch hockey guys who aren't on the puck.
Sure,
and
right.
what they're doing because I don't think that gets enough run in terms of what sets some guys apart. I think Chris Paul is that kind of player. I think Chris Paul occasionally was known as coasting a little bit. But you know what? When you play that many basketball games, you got to hit the downhill sometimes and let the battery recharge, as Tesla drivers would tell you.
It's like even like Jason Williams, White Chocolate. I liked watching him play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I knew I was going to see something dynamic.
I would say CP3, I know he wasn't like the biggest, he's not the number one guy in the movie poster for this, but Lob City was really fun when he first got to LA with Blake Griffin in particular. And he was a part of that. He was a great player.
Yes.
Kind of the last of a dying breed a little bit in terms of the old school, run the offense point guard.
Right.
A lot of guys are, not everybody's Steph Curry, obviously, but a lot more guys are that kind of shoot first, score first type. Not that, Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is kind of a little bit more of that play style as well. Try to get everybody involved and whatnot. But
because his dad, he's got good leadership from his dad.
Great player. Probably one of the, I don't know where he's at on the list, but in terms of players that was great, but unfortunately did not have a lot of postseason success.
Sure, correct.
He's very high on that list.
He made one NBA Finals he played, and it was with...
Gosh, did he?
Yeah, I think he played against... It was either for Dallas or Phoenix. Played for one of those, didn't he? If you look,
yes, that's right. In
Phoenix,
2021.
right?
No, it was when they lost to Milwaukee.
Lost to Milwaukee.
And they were up 2 games. Gosh, I forgot about that, Tito.
Yeah, that's the one time
they
he was
were
in the
up
finals.
2-0 in that series.
Yes.
And Milwaukee came back and won, and that was by far his best shot at a title. His Clippers teams had some bad luck for a stretch there. He got hurt a lot, which injuries are a part of the game, I know, but Blake Griffin got hurt at a stretch where Blake was one of the 4 or 5 best players in the league, I'd argue. The Clippers are probably cursed as a franchise if you want to get a little bit deeper into that regardless, but
Bodie, if I'm watching the Clippers back then, I'm watching them for Blake Griffin,
I know.
not Chris Paul.
I said, he was the co-star of the show.
That's why I asked that question a second ago.
Yeah.
Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
He will.
Well,
yes.
Everybody gets into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Right.
And if you look at what he's done over literally now 2 decades worth, he's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But I would
but cumulative is what he's getting in on.
Jason Kidd, I like watching him more. I like watching Rajon Rondo more than I would watch Chris Paul. And on top of that, and I will say this, he cost you money in Vegas at Wake Forest. He was there. I was out there watching this. They lost that 5 overtime game, whatever it was.
There's always
so I certainly will hold.
Every tree has its roots.
Yes. So I will certainly, absolutely, I probably judge him a little more harshly than others. That's today's quick hitters. Coming up next, and just a question mark, Schlegs? We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
When it comes to protecting your business, whether it's your staff, property, or assets, don't make a crucial mistake by contracting companies that provide subpar and unprofessional service. What you need is a security partner known for their unwavering professionalism and unnatural liability. You need Event Risk. Event Risk is a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company that not only specializes in on-site guarding, but also offers armed security associates and executive protection agents. Event Risk, elite protection for your peace of mind.
Hello, my name is Eric Rose, CEO and founder of Event Risk Security Services. We are a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company providing protection services and consulting to Fortune 500 corporations, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor-quality security officers and an endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give us a try. For virtually the same cost, we can then address what keeps you up at night.
Visit EventRiskInc.com.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Tito. Tim May.
Yes, sir.
Bodie Wells.
Putting my earbuds in.
Yeah, get ready for this. It is our weekly time. It is a Schlegs day today.
Anthony Schlegel.
Schlegel's the best, and now because now he's here local. He has moved back up here from Florida, Tim.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in his house yet. They're still doing work on it.
He took the journey down with
he went down there
with Urban Meyer.
Yep. Let's do this.
The best way to start a morning is with a heavy dose of iron. Gas station ready, always. It is Schleg Day.
It is a Schleg Day. Anthony Schlegel joins us here in the great state of Ohio. Schlegs, good morning. And I'm curious, I was out at the celebrity softball game, the Cardale Jones charity game this past weekend.
Yeah,
I have a feeling you can hit a softball really well. Is that true, or am I wrong on that?
That's accurate. I'm an athlete, man. I can play sports, multiple sports. I was out there with Luke Nutter and his dad, owner of Nutter Hardware, Nutter Handyman.
Yep.
Played Scioto, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago for my son's 19th birthday. It was an amazing time.
Wow, wait a minute. Your son is 19.
Yeah, it's crazy. How about that, Tim?
I'm very old.
That guy was a glimmer in his dad's eye when you were interviewing me.
I know.
Long time ago, and he's already now going off to college. Shot 83, though, at Scioto with a couple of doubles to start the round.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Here we go. Yeah, I can do things. Tito, I can do things.
The Nutters are a great family. Luke was out there, did a great job. I love the Nutters.
Oh, dude, Luke, listen. Hey, if you MC for hire and also side nugget, a really good pizza maker.
Yes.
Like Luke Nutter's your guy. Like he is the man of the people. Great time.
I first met Luke when he was like a nanny's the wrong word, but kind of like that for the Spielman kids. That's how I bumped into him because my oldest was the same age as Macy, and so like that's when I bumped into Luke Nutter for the first time. God, it's been so long. Now I'm old.
Yeah, side nugget, Noah is a strength coach at Ohio University. Bobcats.
Noah is
Doing
really?
great things. Yeah, man, he's awesome.
Good for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you guys got going on on the fan this morning?
Well,
on Morning Juice. What do you guys got?
I'm sitting in for one of the Three Musketeers. You know, you Three Musketeers way back in the day. I'm sitting in for Bobby Carpenter, who's having doing some kind of family thing. But we're talking Ohio State football and everything else. And Anthony, I wanted to ask you, man. Last year, the excitement was off the chart about what that team could be. How would you describe the excitement for what this team could be in the final analysis? Is it an open book? Was it like you guys back in the mid 2000s when people quite weren't sure who this this stud middle linebacker was going to be? You know what I mean? Was he going to deliver the goods right on down the line? I mean, how would you describe the excitement about this 2025 Ohio State football team?
I wouldn't say they've changed. They just got louder because you have social media. The expectation at Ohio State has always been that you're the best. I would say this, and this is the beauty of college athletics, probably more so than the NFL, because you have talent acquisition in the NFL and they're pros, and these guys now are technically pros.
Yes.
The difference is that you had a very veteran-led team with a lot of high expectations. You brought in Will Howard, a veteran quarterback. You had veteran defense. 4 seniors on the defensive line. You had a lot of guys that you knew what they were and what they were capable of because you've seen the snapshot over time. This year is very different. And what I love about college football is how year to year the training, the mentality, the things that you do to build a team are different year to year because not every team is the same. And so, right now, they're reading chop wood, carry water in the offseason. Jeremiah Smith talked about it. He's this offseason was different than even the last year's offseason, which was very, very difficult. And when you have JJ saying that, why? I always go into the why. And it's you got to develop leadership. You got to develop some strength. You got guys that haven't been there that gotta get there, and therefore you got to manipulate some of the training, not necessarily what you do, program and progression, but how you do it. And that's the subtle nuances. And so I'm really excited about the veterans that they do have. And when I say veteran, leadership has no age, people. And so you have, I was talking about this the other day, when you look at the standard of Ohio State and some of the cool nuances, every single day they go in the weight room, there's a power unit. And last year it was broken up differently than this year. And, Jeremiah Smith or Caleb Downs, right, or an Arvell, they're grading people that are in their unit or in their group, not necessarily linebacker unit. It might be just a group of guys that is in their unit from all different, whether it's power, big speed, and they're evaluating them first on attitude and effort. And then you have the competitive excellence aspect. Do you win when your number's called? They're training that all the time. Last year was very much power the unit, O-line, D-line, linebackers. This year it's a little bit different because you got to communicate. You got to have relationships with all these guys, and you got to answer, why did you grade me a plus, a minus, or a nothing, right? Just middle of the road. So you take that along with the physical qualities that you have. There's a gold, a red, and a blue, and they're that's how they do it every single day. So you're teaching those guys how to lead within the confines of a training program versus last year when you have a very veteran-led team that's more into their they already got it. So now it's kind of raising up their own unit. Same but different. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see in the first game how fast, hard, and violent they play. And also you have new coaches on staff. And how does that mix in? What does the defense look like this year under Matt Patricia versus over the last 3 years with Jim Knowles? I'm excited. I would say the expectation is still the expectation, and it's to win a national championship, or why do we do this thing? But what does it look like on the field? That's probably where I'm excited the most to see it play out.
Yeah, I had Jim Trussell on my podcast, the Tim May Show, several months ago, or a couple of months ago and stuff, and I was asking him and Urban Meyer on that same show. I said, what is the key when you're coming off of a national championship? What is the key to get the next team's attention, your next team's attention? And Trussell's great line was, if it ain't broke, break it. You know what I mean? Meaning don't expect to just fall off the truck, and things are going to be the same as they were a year ago. Obviously, with a college football team that loses 14 guys to the draft, it's going to be a much different team to begin with. But I think when you coincide that with a new defensive coordinator, a new look at the defense from Matt Patricia's point of view, and then Brian Hardline stepping in to that offensive coordinator role, because we all know, even though he's been part of the program for these many years, he has his own ideas about things, right? And you finally get to assert those and stuff. So I think from the standpoint of scouting this Ohio State team based on what it did a year ago, Ohio State has so many things going for it to kind of surprise people, you know what I mean, for want of another term, because of the new starters and the new coordinators and stuff. Is that legitimate thought on my part?
I mean, it's legitimate to where I'll put it this way. I'm excited. I'm with you, Tim. I'm excited to see, like, defensively, okay?
Yeah.
So what I love about having NFL coaches and what Ryan Day has done as he's developed this staff and brought this staff together is you have a mix of NFL experience with college experience. Matt Patricia coached in college before he went to the NFL. Tyler Bowen was in the NFL, was in college, and you understand those dynamics. In the NFL, you know, I'm about ready to sneeze over here, I think.
It's okay.
So in the NFL, like you have to produce with what you're given. You're not the GM, right? They're looking at talent acquisition, who's the best on the board, who's available, and then they can selectively go out throughout a season as people get injured and pick pieces to the puzzle to be able to sustain and have success. In college, you got to develop and you got to utilize what you have. And I think sometimes when you're all of scheme, and I use defense, right? I use Jim Knowles as an example of that. When you're all about, hey, this is my scheme, I never liked that.
Right.
You got to put the best 11 on the field. And I remember going back, and you brought up A.J. Bobby and myself. People don't realize this. We ran 80% nickel when we played our senior year. Why would we do that? Well, it allowed Bobby to go to a 5 technique. We had 3 linemen. You had 3 linebackers. Dante Whitner was a very physical safety who played star. That was our nickel back. Like, Dante Whitner was our nickel, and he's a phenomenal safety. But because you want to put the best 11 on the field, we went to that look.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I expect from Matt Patricia.
Yes.
Like, I'm expecting, okay, everybody talks, well, the weakness of the defense could potentially be the interior D linemen. No, they're the youngest group, and maybe the depth that we would like is not there, especially when you have Ty Hamilton and Tyler Williams, who both get drafted. One's a first-rounder and one's a fifth-rounder, along with the 2 outside edges that go in the second and fourth round. I'm like, guys, he's going to put the best 11 on the field, whatever that looks like. It might be a 3-4. It might be a 3-3-5. But that doesn't mean that you don't run the same principles. And that's what I like about it, Matt Patricia. The foundation, the gap assignments, the coverages, they all seamlessly work together. Just the front and the look is different, but it gives you an opportunity to put the best 11 on the field for the situation.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm excited to see, how to utilize all these parts, because you got some bona fide dudes that have been here for a long time. KJ, Caden Curry, you add in Bo, you add in the kid from Indiana, you add in some other young talent, right? And then you add in the fact that Belly could be on the edge, and CJ Hicks is now on the edge, and Sonny, a veteran guy, senior, has been here for a long time, who's going to be a really good linebacker. Then you also have Peyton Pierce, and you have John, and then you look at the back end. It's just like, man, they got dudes all over the place.
Yes.
Like, how is he going to use them?
Yes.
You know, and that's why like I feel very, very good even going into camp and going into week 1. That's a big game. Texas lost a lot of dudes, man. They lost the Jim Thorpe Award. You got a guy that's going to be a first-year starter, and Arch Manning, and yes, he can run, but you also have a very athletic defense against Ohio State. Like, what are they going to look like?
Right.
We don't know. And guess what? We get week 1. We get to find out what they both look like.
That's right.
You know, that's fun. That's fun.
Absolutely.
Schlegs, we were talking to A.J. Hawk last week, and I feel like he was a perfect player for the Green Bay Packers. Like, he fits that mold of somebody who'd be a successful player and, like, be embraced in Green Bay. Is there a franchise, NFL franchise, that Schlegs would be perfect for, a Schlegs-type player?
Is there, say that one more time.
Is there an NFL franchise? Like, you know what? That franchise, I was built to play for that franchise. I would be somebody who you identify with as far as the way they've played or their history, and you think, you know what, that franchise one I'd be good for.
Yeah, that's a great question. I tell people this all the time. It's not about it's not about what round you get drafted. It's about where you get drafted, because the NFL is all about fits and opportunities. And I tell people this all the time. I would have much rather have been a 5th, 6th round pick that went to Buffalo than a 3rd round pick that went to the Jets. And it was just because they ran a 4-3 and I was more of a 4-3 Mike than the 3-4. Mm-hmm. And it's just different. Like, and plus, like, just upstate New York, snow, nasty, kind of grimy. I think that would have been a really good fit for me. You know? But
dude,
again,
wait a minute, dude. You were from Texas. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
I'm just messing. I'm messing with you.
I know it doesn't mean I don't like the Cowboys. I mean, hell, I grew up a Bears fan because I had family that lived in Chicago and Wilmette, right outside, you know, like by Evanston, and so I always grew up liking the Bears because, like, the '85 Bears, you know, like they're feeding me all this stuff, and of course Dick Buckets and Mike Singletary, but I just like I like their grimy fans, you know. Now, I mean, if we kept it closer to home, I mean, obviously I enjoyed my time in Cincinnati with the Bengals for a cup of coffee for a season, but I don't know. I always kind of say that. Like, I remember when I got drafted, that would have been probably a better fit.
Yeah.
Than the Jets at the
I was
time.
just talking about the difference in the weather, not the fact. I wasn't trying to make you be a lifetime Cowboy fan.
I like nasty weather because then that means you got to run the ball. It's hard to put the ball up in the air when it's snowing.
Good point.
You know? Like, it's like put me in my element. Like, there's one thing I could do. I could play inside the box. You know?
Yes.
And so, like, just put me in the environment where, like, they have to go do that because it's just terrible weather, you know, outside.
Yeah.
I can handle the elements. Just run the football. Let me stop the run.
What was it like playing in the UFL?
Oh, man, great question. This was 2009, 2010. It's funny because, like, the team that that was, oh my goodness, now I'm blanking.
The Florida Tuskers.
The Florida Tuskers, man. So McShay was there. The head coach for San Francisco was there. Let's see.
What, Shanahan?
The strength coach Shanahan was there.
Okay.
Is it no, it's not Jimmy Haslam, but it's Hazel.
Hazlitt?
Yeah, Hazlitt. It was our head coach.
Mm-hmm.
The head strength coach for the Commanders was there now. There was just a bunch of dudes, and it was awesome. I mean, here I am. So 2008, I had to sit out. I couldn't. I remember I got a tryout with the Steelers, and I couldn't even touch my toes when I went into the physical because I had broken 3 bones in my back in 2007, and like it like shot up. It's not bad. It just happens, you know. I took the helmet to the back, and I remember I went there and I couldn't even touch my toes. Just something like locked up on the flight up there, and I couldn't even touch my toe. Like, this is terrible. They're not going to pick me up. And so that was kind of 2008. And in 2009, they're starting this league, and I'm feeling frothy, and just started getting into training kids at Metroflex. So I played in that, but they put us up at Shingle Creek. It's this place in Orlando. So it was me, side nugget, D coordinator for Northwestern, Tim McGargle, all-time leading tackler, I think, in NCAA history, Division I. He was my roommate. So me and Tim, like, literally 2 queen beds. There's Tim, there's me. Boom. And, you know, it was fun, man. We made $36,000 for, like, 3 months of ball. And they put us up at this place, and we just played football. I mean, I was like, man, what a good buffer, you know? Like, you're just trying to figure it out in life. And it's like, all right, cool, I'm going to play this football. I'm going to play football till the wheels fall off. And then the next year I end up dislocating my shoulder. And I was like, hey, I'm done. I was like, this ain't working out anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can't produce. It's time for me to stop.
That's what's amazing about football is usually your career ends because somebody tells you can't play anymore. You know what I mean? Whether it's a doctor or a coach cuts you. That's I know that happens in a lot of sports, but football, it's a real final kind of thing, right, Anthony?
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, man, I remember as being in there and many top on the sideline, top of the game, came down on my left. It was extremely came down my left finger and dislocated. Now, I jogged all the way across the sideline. They're like, what's wrong? I was like, put a dude in. And then I just sat down on the bench, and I was like, hey, give me a chew. And I always had, like, Red Man Golden Blend over there, like, on the sideline.
Yeah.
And I threw some of that in, and I was like, listen, my shoulder's dislocated. Like, what do you mean? I was like, it's out, bro. It never happened to me. I don't get hurt, but I was like, I know this is not right. I was like, I need you to put it back in. So then they're like, you got to relax. I'm like, I'm as relaxed as I can be right now. I don't care. Just do this thing. And then they popped it back in. And then they're like, well, we could Don-Joy it. And I'm like, dude, you ain't Don-Joying this thing, man. I'm making peanuts over here. Yeah. I was like, I completely told my labrum. I was like, this ain't worth it, guys. This ain't worth it. So, there you go. I'm gonna drive. Now, I will say this side nugget. I'm leaving the Tuskers, but what do? I'm driving back to Dallas, Texas at the time. I'm like, hey, I'm done. But I also got on the Hog Dogging website, and I found this guy, and I ended up buying a hog dog from Florida and driving her back. Her name was Sadie. I ended up driving her back to Texas. So, yeah, granted, my time was done playing ball, but I picked up a really good hog dog on the way.
Hey, before you left this show, I wanted to ask you that. One of my favorite things to do late at night is I watch these shows where, they show these wild hogs running wild and free through people's cornfields and stuff like that. And you got these guys that go out and set up these huge round pen traps and stuff. Are they cheating in your mind? Are they cheating? And how would you handle the wild hog situation if you were to become the czar of taming the wild hog proliferation, especially in the South and Southwest?
Yeah, first off, we don't know now about but then I could have a monopoly, and I could actually just go back to being a bona fide dude.
Yes.
They're not cheating. You got to have because down in Texas, people don't know this. Like, they go helicopter hunting for pigs.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time this is back in like 2007, 2008. They would fly. This is when it first started, and I would hunt on these huge 1,000-acre, park tracts of land, and they would do a helicopter hunt, and you're like, oh, like showing animals, like, guys, like, these things go in there and root up entire fields of people's crops.
Oh yeah,
and they're a pest. So they would shoot a bunch of them, and then we would go in with dogs afterward and like clean, like within hours, take out dozens.
Yes.
And they're not cheating. It was super fun. And the cool thing was, I was like, Steph, you remember? This is early in our marriage, and we got married in 2004, so we've been married for about 5 or 6 years at the time. I'd be like, hey, I'll be gone for like 3 days. Like, where are you going? I'll be in and out, but I would go catch kill a bunch of pigs, and then I'd go catch a bunch of channel cat and blue cats.
Yeah.
And then we would do like homeless outreaches. It was like I was validating my time away from home that I was doing God's work.
Yes. Yes.
And doing homeless outreaches while I was also just hunting and fishing. So
yeah,
kind of selfish, but not.
I've never eaten wild boar. Is it good? Does it taste good? Does it taste like pork?
Yeah, here's the deal. It depends on what you get, right? So
right.
If you got a really gamey wild boar, and again, wild boar's balls are enormous. They're huge.
Yes.
They're not the size of a head, but like half of a head size. A big one. But if you got a big rank like wild boar, like not good. Like 100-pound sow, really good.
Wow.
Really good. We used to go out there and we'd go hunting at night on Thursday night. This is when I first started like training high school kids at Metroflex, and part of my Friday thing when I was training them in the summer, I'd go hog hunting Thursday night.
Spotlighting.
And no, not spotlighting.
Oh, you did spotlight? Okay.
No, man, I've never shot a wild pig.
Okay.
I've only ran them with dogs and a knife.
Gotcha.
Period.
Yeah.
Make it as fair as possible.
Yes.
So I would bring them in, like literally just come from Waffle House, boom, covered, got blood and mud all over my jeans and stuff, shirts off. That was Friday. Friday was arms. And then my dude of the week, this is before dudes of the week. I had my dude of the week. They got to then, I taught them, we pull out the chin-up bar outside, and I would teach them how to process it. And I'd get there early, already start the smoker going, and we would just like take them, process them, throw them on the grill, and they get to be able to take some of the remnants home with them to give to their parents. I won't ever forget, I was probably like 16 years old, and like one of the first times I ever went hog hunting. And it was at night, and running through the briars, no shirt on, like I was like Last Mohegans or something, and just come home, just cut up with like from the briars and stuff, running through the woods. And my buddy Brian Dobson, who owns Metroflex and stuff, he was like, "Hey, take this home to your mom." And it was literally just fully skinned hindquarter of a wild pig.
There you go.
And I just did. I took it in, and I just like I didn't know any better. It's in like a trash bag, and I just stuck it in the freezer, and I got. And my this hairy like back leg. I'm like, what do you? I'm like, Dad, Brian told me to tell you to make this. I was like, I don't know what to do, but just I'm supposed to eat it. And that was my 16-year-old experience.
Schlegs, you're the man, bud. We appreciate the time.
Man.
You're a man's man, Schlegs. Have a great day. We'll talk again next week. I think we lost him there. We lost him there.
Hope
Anthony
Wild
Schlegel
Boar didn't
us.
get him.
Yeah,
man.
no. Hopefully Wild Boar did not get him. That's fair. Coming up next, I have a question for you, Tim May, that I thought about while I was at the softball game this past weekend. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know what it's like to be stuck in that cycle of pain where you're trying to get better. You keep going to the doctor, steroid shots, surgeries. Do not go down that road anymore. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics. They will help treat you without going under the knife and without the meds. QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine to help your body heal itself. And I should know, I've been a client there, and they helped me with my knee get back to the running in the summer and go on whitewater rafting and all of the things that you enjoy. And this is the critical part about my friends with QC. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's peace of mind. It's not just a number. They're trying to help you. They're the second opinion that you're looking for to keep you from getting under the knife. To find out if you're a good candidate, go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. The consultation is free, or call 380-284544. That's 380-284544. They have offices all over Central Ohio. So go check them out.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. I care deeply about creating a world we can all fully participate in, free from stigma, misperceptions, and barriers. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Rooted in communities nationwide, Easter Seals helps empower millions of people, regardless of age or disability, through its life-changing services and powerful advocacy. Today and every day, Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Event Risk. What keeps you up at night? Visit eventriskINC.com.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right. Thank you, Anthony Schlegel, for joining us there. By the way, stick around because at the end of this segment, we'll do the That's What He Said. Get a chance to win that $50 gift card to Roosters. Tim, so I'm out at the Cardale Jones softball game. And one of the guys who was out there playing in the game was Maurice Clarett, who I still contend is one of the greatest running backs I've ever seen at Ohio State. The way he burst onto the scene as a freshman was phenomenal.
He only had 1 year, but for 1 year, and didn't even have that many full games in that 1 year.
That leads to my question.
Difference maker.
If Clarett plays the following year,
right?
You think Ohio State goes back-to-back?
Yes.
I think they do, too.
They had a chance to go back-to-back anyway.
Right.
But when you got a special guy like that at running back, and they don't come around that often, man.
No.
And it's funny, Ohio State had two of those guys last year, two of those big daddies in Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Yep. But, yes, they definitely – that was the weirdest year.
It really is one of the –
I was just thinking about this the other day. I mean, I remember there was a preseason little scrimmage. We got to watch part of the practice. It was over in Ohio Stadium, and Maurice Clarett was not part of the team at that point.
Right.
And he shows up near the end of the scrimmage just to watch. He has Vince Marrow with him.
Okay.
Who's his uncle, cousin, a relationship of some sort.
Right.
And which I'd gotten to know Vince really well during that whole debacle, after the NCAA came calling. And I remember everybody, after the thing was over, everybody left, meaning the media and the team, and Maurice was still there, and so was Vince. And I just walked kind of like, walk backwards, make it look like you're leaving.
Sure.
But I walked backwards, for one of another term, back into the stadium and sat there and talked to him for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Whereas all the other media left, and we hadn't gotten to talk to Maurice Clarett for a long time there. And I remember, I think it was Bruce Hooley going, man, I'm always worried when Tim May, when I don't see Tim May where we're supposed to be. I mean, it was just weird because I'm not bragging about that, but it was just the strangest of times because we kept asking questions. I remember they had the captains there. It was Will Smith and Craig Krenzel. Can't remember who the other captain was. And Craig Krenzel was trying to not talk about what was going on off the field. He wanted to talk about what was going on the field. Returning starting quarterback, underrated still, in my opinion, in Ohio State quarterback history, is Craig Krenzel. But no, we wanted to ask about how's this team dealing with this ongoing soap opera that was going on off the field, and it definitely affected them. But the main thing that affected them was they didn't have that stud running back.
Right.
No offense to Maurice Hall and some of the others, but they just didn't have that
Lido
guy.
Ross, right, was on the team.
And the whole Jim Trussell offense was kind of based on having a bell cow running back of some sort. Now, Maurice Clarett missed big parts of the 2002 season because of injury.
Right.
Because he kept getting hurt. Remember, he didn't even play in the Cincinnati game after undergoing arthroscopic surgery.
Right.
That was one of the teams that should have beaten them.
Yes. Yeah.
But
one of the few that year that could have beaten Ohio State.
It should have been the Gaduli, as Gino Gaduli was their quarterback, and wow, at the end of that game, what a crazy finish. But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing about repeating. That's why I was talking about when I had Urban and Jim Trussell on, Urban Meyer and Jim Trussell on the Tim May show like a couple of months ago, just talking about how tough it is to repeat because obviously 2015 should have been the same thing.
Yeah.
That was a better team.
Yep.
2015 was better than 14.
Yep.
They had all those guys back, and then lo and behold, this Michigan State debacle happens.
Yep.
That was, that literally, if Ohio State, like I said, I was telling you yesterday, if it had been now, they would have made the field of 12, but they didn't make the field of 4.
Right.
Because of that Michigan State debacle. Are you kidding me? I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't still have been in the college football playoff, but they weren't as a 4-team thing. But, yeah, going back to 2003, yes, that team would have repeated. So I truly believe that. They were a better team, in my opinion, except for running back.
They lost the game to Wisconsin when Chris Gamble slipped and Lee Evans got the touchdown. They lost that with 17-10. Lost the Michigan game, beat Kansas State in the bowl game. But I had forgotten how many close games there were that made a huge difference. Like the San Diego State game, Ohio State won 16-13.
Right.
They had the triple overtime game against NC State. Phillip Rivers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They only beat Bowling Green by 7. They beat Penn State by 1. They went to overtime with Purdue, and that was at Ohio State, and they won that one 16-13 before they lost to Michigan. But, yeah, I was thinking about that, and I didn't get a chance to ask Maurice that question because I was going to ask him that if he thought that, if he would have played that year, how the season would have been different. But because some of those games, the game against Wisconsin, that game, the weather in that game, it was raining the entire time. At night game at Camp Randall, that game was custom made for a running back like Maurice Claret.
Correct.
The difference he could have made in that one. But Wisconsin
hits a freak play to win
what it did. That's what it was.
Yeah, and that was also the Robert Reynolds.
the choke game. Yeah,
choke game. Yeah.
But that team.
Speaking of Anthony Schlegel, the way you have to put the wild hog out of his misery.
Right. They didn't. That Wisconsin game was their first road game that year. It was October 11th. They played 5 home games before the Wisconsin game. Ohio State went in ranked number 3. Wisconsin was number 23 in the country. And what a great atmosphere that was. That was I think maybe the last road game I went to.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's a Ohio State-Wisconsin game out there. But and then they come back, they beat Iowa, like I say. Then they win at Indiana, at Penn State. They beat Michigan State. They go up to number 4 again in the country, and they lose to Michigan. And then had the blowout over, I should say blowout. It was a close game, but I thought they dominated Kansas State in that Sun Devil Stadium there in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yes.
But that team, and I think Bobby said that as well, like that team was better than the previous year's team, the 03 team. And we know all the close games they had in the 02 season. But yeah, that was one of the. It's weird.
Well, let me jump in there and say, but that's what I always tell people. When it comes to a national championship college football team, you got to have the players, but then you got to have the magic. I mean, eventually the chemistry comes along as you play,
right?
But then there's got to be magic a few times, to finish it off.
Sure.
I mean, just like with Georgia when it won back-to-back national championships, the magic was. Magic, maybe. I mean, not really.
Yeah.
But when Marvin Harrison Jr. gets knocked out of the game.
Right.
And Ohio State had already lost Cade Stover in the first half. And Ohio State has a chance, but then gives up, in that fourth quarter, gives up a big pass play.
Yep.
And, they thought that bugaboo was off their back.
Yeah.
Because that's what they had given up the year before, remember? And and so they thought they had tamed that. No, they had not.
Right.
And it just takes all these little things plus a little bit of extra. And the thing about Maurice Claret was he brought magic on occasion. Ripping the ball out of Sean Taylor's hands.
One of the more amazing plays, yes. One of the more amazing plays in Ohio State history.
Down the left sideline that set up the go-ahead touchdown against Michigan. Maurice Hall scored the winning touchdown on an option pitch. But that wheel route, I mean – and the thing about Maurice Claret, if you ever watched him during a game, when he wasn't on the field, he was standing within 5 feet of Jim Trussell.
He was always right. Yeah, yes,
all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, he knew football. It was pretty crazy what he meant. But it's too bad things went the way they did.
It is. I agree. And, like I said, it was a 2-loss season and one of the stranger seasons. I looked upon that season as a very disappointing Ohio State season, which is really hard to say about a team that was still right there and had a chance to play for a national championship and lost 2 games. They would beat Michigan. Who knows what would happen then?
Yeah.
Let's do this now. We're going to do That's What He Said. Today, by the way, the Roosters onion feathers, battered onion petals. Fried golden brown served with a side of plucking sauce. $3 all day long. Well, that's what he said now with Anthony Schlegel.
That's finger looking good. Wait, no, that's another.
That's a different one. Don't do it, Tim. We asked Anthony Schlegel, what NFL team was he custom built for? He gave us an answer on that one, a team he never played for, never drafted him. be the first caller. It's 614-821-1460. Bodie Wells, or Brody Wells. He will take your answer on that one. Which NFL team was he custom made for? You're the caller with that answer, and you'll get a $50 gift card to Roosters.
Bodie's Wells sounds like a town out in the middle of the high desert of California, or somebody who'll come drill
on
you
a
a new
dark
water
desert
well.
highway.
I am not, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Bodie's Wells was also on Little House on the Prairie. It was one town over from Maple Grove. I think it was also that. So make sure that 614-821-1460. Coming up next, we'll tell you what's got us juiced to close things out. Morning Juice.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place, and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps.
I'm dead sexy.
You're locked into Morning Juice.
Indeed, you are a final segment of the program. Thank you, all the chatters. We love you and appreciate you as always. Phil wins. He got the answer right. Schleg said he was custom built for Buffalo. And so that's where the gift card is headed. And now we will close things out like we always do by telling you what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, Bodie, why don't you start us off and tell us what's got Schlegs juiced?
I don't understand why people always have to get dressed up for white-collar jobs. Why can't we just wear jeans and cowboy boots and a tri-blend T-shirt? We get stuff done that way.
Get stuff done. I don't blame Schlegs for that. I don't really love dressing up as well. I got a few things for you guys. Actually, sort of negative juice energy today, so bear with me. One, got the email this morning. Your password expires in 21 days.
Oh, I love those. God, I got the same one.
I'm at a point, just let somebody hack into it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of changing that thing. I'm running out of passwords. I normally use about the same half dozen or so, and I'm honest to God running out. So one of these days I'm just going to forget. I'm not going to be able to log in, and I'm just going to go back home and go back to bed. What also sort of doesn't have me juiced, I tell you guys, I don't deal with a lot of traffic coming into work at 3:30 in the morning. But what I do deal with, I've found very quickly a lot, is road closures.
Yeah.
That is a very frequent, couldn't get on 270 South today. I'm like, all right, I'll go up 270 North, jump on 71 South. That exit was closed as well, so I had to go all the way to Polaris just to get turned around there. But nevertheless, didn't cost me too much time because, once again, there's nobody else out on the road. Most importantly, though, God, I don't know why I even bother rooting for this team anymore. So yesterday, Jerry Jones, the great owner of the Dallas Cowboys. You know, Micah Parsons, I think, for all intents and purposes, is genuinely one of the best players in the league.
Yes.
You can hate the Cowboys as much as you want. Yep. I honestly hate them too. But I think everybody can recognize that since the moment he was drafted out of Penn State, he has been a dominant pass rusher at one of the most important positions in the league as a pass rusher. And he has been a great player. And, of course, Dallas probably should sign him to a contract, get him locked into a long-term deal. They have not done that yet. So Jerry Jones took to the mic in Oxnard yesterday as training camp gets underway for your Dallas Cowboys. America's team. Yeah, right. They sure are hanging on to that. 30 years of winning nothing. But nevertheless, this is what Jerry had to say about getting a long-term deal done with Micah. Quote, just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. Micah missed 4 games last year for context, but nevertheless, also before last year when he suffered. I did. You know what? I'll give Jerry that. It probably did. Also would like to add, Micah had only missed 1 game prior to suffering what was a nasty ankle sprain last year. Previously in his career, and that 1 game was when they sat him in a Week 17 game because their playoff seating was locked up. So prior to a nasty ankle sprain last year, he had never missed time. Jerry also went on to add this, quote, contracts are 4 or 5 years, okay? There's a lot of water under the bridge if you step out there and do something in the first 2 or 3. You can get hit by a car, seriously. So there's a lot to look at. So there's a lot to look at over a lot of years that can make a big difference. Have you heard of clubs committing to players and then they didn't pan out after they committed to them? We have. First off, the idea that you're going to go out publicly and trash one of your best players on the team is just so damn stupid. It blows my mind. But then the fact that it's like he can't even be like, well, you know, here's why we haven't got the contract done yet. Right. Things can happen, da-da-da. It's like to throw the idea out of, well, he could get hit by a car. I don't know. I guess him and Mike Brown must have got on a phone call yesterday morning. It's like, okay, you use the jail one, I'll use the hit by a car one, and this will be great, man. Hendrickson, Shemar Stewart, Micah Parsons, screw those guys. We don't need them. All that does not have me juiced. Tim May, what has you juiced, sir?
I don't know if it has you juiced, but it just shows you, man, the National Football League, not for long.
NFL,
even the owners look at you in that regard.
Yeah.
But the average span right now of an NFL career is 3.7 years. That takes into account everybody from Aaron Rodgers to the guy who gets cut.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but what has me juiced, and I'm kind of bummed out. I'm not at the Big Ten Media Days.
Weird for you?
In Las Vegas for the first time ever. I'm bummed out that they're in Las Vegas. But number 2, I was told by my wife I was not allowed to go because my middle kid's getting married at the end of the week, and I have to be all hands on deck for any kind of chores that come up. But I just remember the first Big Ten Media Day was back then. It was 2 days. Was in Chicago at the Hyatt Regency on Wacker. Is it Wacker Drive?
Yes, Wacker Drive, W-A-C-K-E-R.
Right there next to the river.
Yep.
And the one guy I remember, and Bodie, you'll like this, the one guy I remember his speech was a guy named Lou Holtz, who ended up taking your beloved Notre Dame to its last national championship. But he gets up and there was this big fountain in the middle. I don't know if you've ever been to the Hyatt Regency there.
No, not there. No.
But right there on Wacker, there's a huge fountain in the middle of the atrium when you first walk in the door there. And so Lou, Mr. Creative, says he's talking to the fans, and he says, "You know what? It was his time to talk." He goes, "I had a dream last night. I had a dream that Minnesota. It was his first year at Minnesota. He only spent 2 there in Minnesota, and I had a dream last night that we're going to the Rose Bowl. And this is how the dream went. We walk in here, and Wayne Duke had put a fish in that big fountain out in the lobby.
Right.
And he said, we're going to line up from first to last, the way you guys finished last year in the head coach is the way you finished last year in the Big Ten rankings. And whoever catches that fish is going to the Rose Bowl. And so first up was Bo Schembechler, and he had a rod and reel, and he cast a little lure out there, and the fish didn't go for it. And finally, his time was up. He got so frustrated. Then next stepped up Earl Bruce, and he had a bow and arrow, and he shot all of his arrows and missed every time. I think he shot 10 arrows into that and missed, and it went right on down the line until it came to me, Lou Holtz, head coach, Minnesota. Well, I walked up to that fountain. I knelt down on one knee. I reached in my back pocket, and I pulled out a teaspoon, and I dipped that teaspoon into that fountain and threw the water over my shoulder. And I dipped the teaspoon in that fountain, threw the water over my shoulder. And about 2 minutes later, this little lady comes up to me, and she goes, Lou Holtz, what do you think you're doing? And I dipped that teaspoon in that water and flipped that water out, and I looked up at her, and I said, ma'am, I'm going to the Rose Bowl. That was a great. Most of the guys got up there and gave their depth chart or something, right? Lou has always been different, even though I don't know what his beef is now with Ohio State, but
it's amazing how different those media days are now, and the fact that first I get 18 teams, which is going to extend it quite a bit, but still,
yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, dude, it was 3 days last year. It's 18 teams.
Yeah,
you got 6 a day.
Yeah,
I mean, that's almost a full conference,
right?
Each day, and they take 3 players. Ohio State's taking 3 players out there. 2 of them are Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith, and
Sonny Styles.
Yeah, and so you got 2 of the considered to be the best players in the country. Ohio State's taking with them.
Right.
You don't always take sophomores,
Yeah,
and sometimes not even juniors. It was a senior honor trip, for guys. But those guys out there who are out there like Austin Ward and everybody who's out there is going to have a fun time. But it's long days. I mean, it's kind of like being in school again, And
sure.
The thing about it is the media kind of things. You just kind of like wander around and just kind of, ask questions of different guys. Like Dan Lanning, I sat in with him for like 15, 20 minutes last year. Really enjoyed that. Sat there with Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Just what an interesting story that guy was. You know, started from Hawaii, starting at UCF, moving to Oklahoma, and into Oregon.
Yeah.
And as you're sitting there talking to him, you're knowing he is the richest player. I'm talking about my money-wise.
Right.
At that moment, he was the richest player in college football because he had parlayed.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had parlayed everything. But it's just an interesting time. I remember one of the questions I asked when Barry Alvarez got the head coaching job way back when, was it late 80s, early 90s?
Wisconsin, yeah.
And they'd had a couple of guys there before him who had followed McLean, who had died, of a heart attack. And I stood up and asked him a question in the whole kit and caboodle. I said, Coach Alvarez, there have been some guys before you who haven't gotten it done. At Wisconsin, what tells you, what makes you think you can get it done at Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like sort of taken aback. And then he gave a good answer. He goes, well, I'm not guaranteeing anything. But then he started, because he had grown up in the Nebraska way of doing things. And boom, dude, he did as good a job at a place that didn't usually win on a consistent basis as anybody you could ever name. And then, of course, a couple of years ago when it was who was going to be the starting quarterback, Kyle McCord or Devin Brown,
mm-hmm.
I asked Ryan Day, I asked the first question in the big media session.
Right.
I said, Coach Day, I wonder if you could tell me, who is your backup quarterback going into the preseason?
Right.
And he thought that was a clever way of beating around the bush, and instead of beating around the bush, getting a definitive answer. But, try to think of something to ask these guys.
It's interesting to me when we have all the turnover you have among with coaches and things like that. And when you look at the fact that Iowa's had a head coach, Hayden Fry, right? And then, when did Hayden Fry start at Iowa? And
79 or 80.
So it's just him and Ferentz since then, right? And in Michigan State in basketball, you've got Heathcote and Izzo since like 1976.
Yes.
And that's amazing to me. I always marvel at Ohio State's success at hiring football coaches because they have not had a catastrophic hire like Alabama, Notre Dame, Michigan, Nebraska have had. They've had nothing like that, nothing catastrophic.
That is exactly correct.
And which is why I appreciate the fact that they exercise patience, because there were some people even here at this radio station calling for Ryan Day's head after the Michigan game last year. It's like,
I think some of those people have forgotten they did that.
I think they have also.
Tim, you think so?
Yeah. Yes, I think.
I would strongly agree with that statement, Tim. Strongly agree.
Yeah, and so the fact, though, that Ohio State showed up, but you look at those like Michigan State and Iowa in those situations there, that's mind-boggling to me to think how long, Michigan State's basketball since 1976 has had 2 guys.
That's right. It's crazy. I mean, I remember when I first showed, Bo Schembechler was still at Michigan then. I enjoyed those moments we got to spend with him at the Big Ten meeting because it was basically you were sitting at a big table in these one-on-one sessions, and it was really in the old Marriott, not Marriott Marquis. Yeah, the Marriott Marquis or Marquis Marriott, whatever you call it, on Michigan, and it moved, we were at Wacker and Hyatt Regency, but the bottom line, it was good to say you could get to know these guys.
Yeah.
Now you're part of like a horde,
Right.
And except for, the radio row and TV row, they get their one-on-ones and stuff, which has always rankled us guys.
The print guys,
in the print media. Because, it's a long story.
No typewriter row.
But, yeah, you learn a few things, but mainly you try to just get opinions from these guys, just like the SEC media days last week.
You
just try to get some different opinions for these guys on the playoffs, NIL, the transfer portal. What would be the best time for a transfer portal to be in college football? Because there really is no true ideal time for the transfer portal. And because of spring football, that's what throws the monkey wrench into everything. So, it's good to just go around and get to know some of these guys as best you can.
It's funny you think how different it could have been if Schembechler had taken that A&M job back in 86, I think it was, 85, somewhere around there. Is when,
Michigan wanted to get rid of that major that all the Michigan seemed like most of the Michigan football team was using. Michigan, the Harvard of the Midwest,
sure, right?
Yeah. And boy, he put a quietus on that by entertaining Texas A&M's overtures.
Yep.
If only Rich Rod had taken that Alabama job.
I know.
Maybe some of us would have.
Who knows how things would have changed?
Some of our favorite teams would have had an extra title or two.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you to all the juicers for tuning in today on YouTube. We appreciate that. Tim, thank you for sitting in the last couple of days here. And it's weird you not being at media days. But we'll have plenty of sound in that for tomorrow's morning show on what the people say. We'll hear Ryan Day speak later on today as well and see what goes on at media day. It's a great spectacle out there at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. We will have all of that tomorrow for you. But for Bodie Wells, for Tim May, I'm Tito. Thank you so much for tuning in Morning Juice, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Bobby Carpenter here with Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Every successful franchise in sports has a long-term vision, and behind that long-term vision are the people executing the plan. In the words of the great Woody Hayes, you win with people. It's the same in business and in life. Surround yourself with good people and build strong relationships with those people, and the path to success becomes very clear. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they win with people.
A team's success can be directly tied to the quality of its players, coaches, and leadership. In sports and in business, talent alone doesn't win. It's why we focus on building strong relationships with our clients and why we strive to always offer the best advice, the best products, and the best customer service for our clients.
Thanks, Travis. We want them to focus on their business and their people and let us handle their banking needs.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.